Welcome to Catholic News TV. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Isaac. Here's this week's breaking headline.
A 36-year-old Israeli settler was arrested by Israel's police force following an attack on a French Catholic nun in the Old City of Jerusalem. The incident, which occurred on April 28, 2026, has intensified concerns regarding a rising tide of sectarian violence and harassment directed at Christian clergy and religious sites in the region. The victim is a 48-year-old researcher at the French School of Biblical and Archaeological Research. She was walking near the cenacle on Mount Zion, a site holy to both Christians and Jews, when she was ambushed from behind. According to witness accounts and a statement from Dominican director of the French Biblical and Archaeological School of Jerusalem, Father Olivier Poquillon, the attacker shoved the nun with such force that she struck a rock, causing a significant bruise to her head. While she was on the ground, the assailant reportedly kicked her before being intervened by bystanders. The victim was later treated for facial bruising and head injuries. France's embassy in Jerusalem condemned the attack, posting on X, "France strongly condemns the aggression yesterday in Jerusalem against a French nun from EBAF Jerusalem. We wish a prompt recovery to the assaulted nun, whose situation we are closely following. France calls for the perpetrator of the aggression to be brought to justice for this act and for justice to be served." Israeli police confirmed the arrest of a 36-year-old suspect on Wednesday, April 29th, following an extensive search. Authorities are investigating the attack as a racially motivated assault. The suspect was brought before the Jerusalem Magistrates Court for a remand extension. While the police emphasized a zero-tolerance policy for violence against clergy, local journalists noted that the arrest occurred only after the incident gained significant traction on social media and in international news. Religious leaders and academic institutions have characterized the assault as part of a broader, systemic issue. The Hebrew University of Jerusalem issued a statement calling the attack part of a troubling pattern of rising hostility toward the Christian community. The Rossing Center for Education and Dialogue recently documented an expanding pattern of intimidation against Christians in Jerusalem, fueled by a socio-political climate increasingly intolerant of religious pluralism. The Religious Freedom Data Center, now in its third year of operation, continues its work of documenting cases of harassment of Christians by Jews in Israel, filing complaints to the police when necessary, and the promotion of tolerance and interfaith understanding where possible. According to their report in 2025, there were over 181 incidents against Christians. Please pray for Christians in the Holy Land. On May 1st, 2026, the Vatican has signaled a profound shift in the American hierarchy. Pope Leo XIV, now entering the second year of his pontificate, has made a series of 4 key episcopal appointments that lean heavily into social justice, immigration reform, and racial equity, often in direct contrast to the prevailing political trends in Washington. He appointed Bishop Evelio Menjivar Ayala to a diocese in West Virginia. Evelio Menjivar Ayala, who once crossed into this country in the trunk of a car as an undocumented immigrant, is now the bishop designate of Wheeling, Charleston. This immigrant from El Salvador, born in 1970, will become the first Salvadoran bishop in the history of the United States. Bishop Menjivar Ayala currently serves as an auxiliary bishop of Washington. He will replace Bishop Mark Brennan, installed in 2019, who is retiring at age 79, 4 years past the customary retirement age. Another key appointment is auxiliary bishop designate Robert Boxey III to the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. At just 46, this Harvard Law graduate and former Howard University chaplain becomes the youngest bishop in the country and the first black bishop appointed in the United States in nearly a decade. At a press conference, Boxey, who was at times visibly emotional, described himself as both overwhelmed and deeply humbled to be appointed to the post. God's plans are not always our plans, he said, describing the Pope's decision as unexpected. He praised the Archdiocese for its vibrancy, diversity, and vitality. The Archdiocese will gain another new auxiliary bishop, Father Gary Studneski. Bishop-designate Studneski is presently a priest of the Archdiocese, where he ministers as pastor at the Shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament in the District of Columbia. He was ordained in 1995 in the Archdiocese and served as a military chaplain for almost a decade. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops also said in a press release that Father John Gomez was appointed Bishop-designate of the Diocese of Laredo, Texas, upon the retirement of Bishop James Tamayo from the position. Tamayo has served in that role for more than a quarter century, having been appointed to the post in 2000 by Pope John Paul II. At age 76, he has reached the customary age of retirement for bishops. Gomez was born in Colombia in 1975. He received a Master of Divinity degree from the University of St. Thomas in Houston and was ordained in the Diocese of Tyler, Texas on May 23, 2009. He has served at several parishes in Tyler and in multiple roles for the diocese itself, including as judicial vicar and on the diocese. The president of the U.S. Catholic Bishops' Conference, Archbishop Coakley, condemned the shooting at White House Correspondents' Association dinner. The 2026 White House Correspondents' Dinner, held on Saturday, April 25, 2026, was cut short and ultimately canceled after a shooting incident occurred near the security screening area. The suspect, now in custody, identified as Cole Thomas Allen, age 31, fired shots near the Washington Hilton's security check. One law enforcement officer was shot in the vest, but is expected to recover. No other attendees were reported injured. The suspect, Allen, who was from California, possessed a shotgun, a handgun, and several knives, with initial reports suggesting he targeted administration officials. President Trump, the First Lady, and Vice President Vance were immediately removed by Secret Service, while many of the 2,600 guests took cover. The ballroom was cleared and the event canceled, but is set to be rescheduled. Following the news of the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Association dinner, the president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops offered the following statement: "We are grateful the lives of the president, those who protect him, and everyone in attendance last night were spared from serious harm. Let us all pray for our elected leaders and public officials that they may receive God's blessings. Because human life is a precious gift, there is no room for violence of any kind in our society."
Dear brothers and sisters, today I'd like to speak about my recent apostolic journey to 4 countries: Algeria, Cameroon, Angola, and Equatorial Guinea. I had desired to embark on this journey since the beginning of my pontificate, and I now express my heartfelt gratitude to the Lord for granting me the occasion to meet with the people of God in Africa and confirm them in their faith as a successor of St. Peter. My time there was meant to offer the world a message of peace at a moment marked by conflicts and frequent violations of international law. Along with the call for peace, I also denounced the grave injustices that exist in those countries that are so rich in natural resources, urging the international community to overcome neo-colonial attitudes and engage in authentic collaboration. At the same time, the apostolic journey gave people in Africa a chance to make their voices heard and to express the joy of being God's people. In this regard, I thank the Lord for what they have given me an immeasurable gift of faith, hope, and charity, which has greatly enriched my life and ministry. I greet all the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors taking part in today's audience, particularly the groups from Ireland, Malta, Norway, Nigeria, India, the Philippines, Trinidad and Tobago, and the United States of America. Upon all of you and upon your families, I invoke the joy and peace of the risen Jesus. May God bless you. Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
Watching, and please subscribe to the Catholic News Channel. God bless.